Hearing, P. Diddy might be getting free soon. Yeah, is that true?
Well, I've slipped and fell twice. He didn't say what he slept and fell in, but if you have that much lube and that much baby oil.
Okay, so title of this video is Diddy Trial Bombshell. Ex-Diddy employee spills everything. Winners versus losers, right? So join me as I dive into the craziest secret about Diddy that a former employee has shared, and see if I can uncover the truth, okay? Let's see.
Well, you can kind of figure it out. Hey everybody, Charles here. Day 23 in Diddy's federal trial. And
Day 23.
We learned a little bit about post-freak-off slip and falls. It happened to someone. We will explain what they were slipping and falling in just a little bit later. Stick around for that. But Diddy was not the person everyone was talking about today, at least for a while. It was a different celebrity. His buddy, Ye. Kanye West showed up at the federal courthouse in New York today.
Damn, boom. What is going on? Ye in the picture. Let's go.
And what an appearance it was. Made a big entrance. He did not come in at the beginning of the day, and in fact, it was a little unclear whether he'd even be able to get into court because testimony had already begun. But he rolled up, got out of his car.
Okay, the title says ex-Diddy employee. Do y'all think if the employee they're talking about is Kanye, do y'all think Kanye see himself as an employee or a boss? Just wondering.
All head to toe in white denim, and then was met at the door by Diddy's son, King Combs. But when he went inside, I think things did not go the way that Ye expected them to go. Obviously, he's going there because he wants to show support for Diddy, and really, he would be the first of his celeb friends to show any support, any public support at least.
Damn, so like, where is Diddy actually? Like, is he really in a prison cell, or like he is in a rehab center where he is not allowed to go nowhere or something? Like, I just want to know like where he is trapped at right now, like, cause they've been on this guy for so long about the BIDDY'S, the Tupac, and all of them stories, man. His name been relevant for a long time.
Diddy, and the only celeb who would have shown up at court to support him, but he did not get to go into the courtroom. He walked into the courthouse and then was told that he couldn't go into the courtroom and he'd have to go into the overflow room. Now, the overflow room is where they have a lot of other reporters, media gathered, essentially just watching the trial on a big TV. And we're told from our reporter, Jacob was in that overflow room. That's where he watches every day. And there was a big commotion in there. They actually, the deputies came in, they cleared off a bench at the back of that room, and it seemed like that's where they were expecting Kanye to watch. Jeez. But then there were a lot of people coming in and out.
Okay. Kanye used to be an employee for Diddy. Okay, I didn't know that.
And some of Diddy's attorneys stuck their head in, kind of looking for Ye.
I thought they were
Didn't
artists.
see him in there. Well, it turns out what the deputies decided was that it was just going to be too much of a commotion, too much of a distraction if you were sitting in that room with all the other media. I mean, let's be.
And they were saying, Diddy used to work for a TV station or something, like a TV network. Is that why his name is so big? Like, cause he knows his way around in the entertainment game or something?
If you're a reporter and you're in that room, you're no longer looking at the trial. You're watching Ye to see how he's reacting to things that are being said in the trial. So
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Ye is legit. I feel like he a real one. Not just because he's showing up to support
they
Diddy,
decided to not bring him in there.
but I feel like he real because his music is real. Like with Kanye music, you feel something. Like, so that's why I feel like he real, and he probably knows what a brother is going through with his challenges too, like what he's been through, cause he knows, yeah, the tables can turn and stuff. So
He got his own private overflow room, and he was only there, so he sat down in there with King Combs, but he was only there for about 10 minutes. If you know anything about Ye, once he realized that there wasn't going to be this big show of him walking into court and everyone gasping and, him trying to wave to Diddy or whatever it is, that once that was not happening, he decided he was out of there. He literally was in the over.
I feel like the only person that can save this situation is Trump, bro. Shit, that he the only one that can help Diddy out right now.
Room for about 10 minutes and then walked out and was gone. Didn't have anything to say when he left, and that was it. So, with that whole circus out of the way, what actually happened in the trial today? Only 2 witnesses on the stand, and one of them, the first was a special agent, Andre Lamont, and he ran through a lot of things that we already knew.
Man, they got witnesses. Crazy, man. When it comes to the court system, man, that's one thing I don't like, bro. Dealing with court shit, bro. Matter of fact,
about the raids, he was going over basically an inventory of things that they found at the LA home during the raid. Talked about weapons, talked about drugs, ketamine, ecstasy, and the weapons that, aside from the guns, he also talked about the ammo that was found, and that it was armor-piercing bullets that they found there, which we had known that from the indictment. It always seemed weird to me that Diddy would need that kind of ammunition, but he didn't really get into.
What? How is that weird to you, bro? Bro, these little kids, when they turn 16, they make their first 200K, they go buy protection, and you find a multi-millionaire, staying alert and protecting. How many kids did he got again? Big ass house, and you find that weird, bro? No, I don't find that shit weird. I find him, just practicing one of the laws, and I think the rights to bear arms or something like that. I don't find that weird. They shouldn't use that against him. If he got the ammunition and all those stuff, like, the right way, you guys know the right way, going through, certification and things like that. But I feel like, that man needs to protect himself, man. Like, it's not wrong with him, having those type of stuff on him and shit.
What it could be used for, just talked about this is what they found. Then there was something that I guess you could say is a bit of maybe freak-off shaming, you could call it. We've all heard about the baby oil. We've heard about the personal lubricant that was found and the amounts that were found. But he went through the numbers, and I guess you feel like...
And the baby oil shit, that is wild to me, though. Like, man, that man gotta be a real freak to have baby oil all over the crib with these baddies, bro. Like, man, they was having some nasty ones, man. Some nasty shit. They were doing shit at these parties, man. They I ain't gonna cap. Shit. You know, hey, if I was invited to a Diddy party, man, I probably would have went, bro. But if I do go, I wasn't gonna be on no BS, doing things God don't allow, like, like doing, that male to male shit. But, if I was at the Diddy party, bro, I'd probably be hollering at the baddies, the bad girls and shit. That's what I'd probably be on. Not doing the other shit people be, saying that went down and shit. They trying to bring, some of the big names in this, that Diddy was, doing stuff with some of these guys and shit, but I won't be on that, but I'll be on the baddies.
Maybe the prosecutors felt like they've probably heard about this. We need to let the jury know what was found there.
Hey, sure.
Because if we don't bring it up, they're going to be going, wait a second, remember all that stuff we heard about baby oil? How come that didn't come up in the trial? The special agent said they found
the next Diddy party
200 bottles of baby oil.
Pull up.
200. This is just in the LA home. And lube, 900 bottles.
Damn.
I can't even imagine, how did he order 900 bottles of lube?
Maybe he's trying to flip him.
Mind-boggling. Anyway,
man. He
they
trying to
covered
sell
that,
him.
and then they moved on. The next person on the stand was Jonathan Perez, and Jonathan was a former assistant for Diddy, and he reported, at least he said for a time, reported directly to Christina Karam,
Yo,
who
guys,
is the
what is this guy's name?
Chief of staff, former chief of staff.
He's been running the game for quite some time now.
What Jonathan was talking about was what he had to do as an assistant. Now, he said that this was only about 1% of his responsibilities. That seems, if this is only 1%, I'm not sure what else they had this guy doing. But he talked about king nights. Now, we've heard Cassie call them freak-offs. We've heard Jane call them hotel nights. The employees, at least, Jonathan testified, knew them as king nights. That's the way it was described to him by Christina, that every now and then Diddy would have these king nights where he would stay at a hotel with a woman. Jonathan said that it was usually Jane when he was...
Bro, like, bro, sheesh. Let me know y'all thoughts, bro. Like, what's your thoughts about this whole situation? Do y'all think it's fair? Or it's like, or like, you feel like, Cassie deserved justice? Like, who do you think is like, who you think is wrong in this, this battle?
These things
who's
up.
The
he talked
winners
about
and who's the
what
losers,
the setup
like,
was about, that they would get enough supplies in there for about 12 to 24 hours of...
I don't know who's wrong, but I just feel like this story is watching it from this TMZ channel, it's kind of entertaining, but at the same time not entertaining, like not fun for the person going through it. Like,
fun for Diddy and whoever else was in there, and he wanted 12 to 24 hours where he wouldn't have to...
Them king nights, man, sounds lit as fuck. Like, having a day, I mean, it's normal, bro. What are men supposed to do? What? Like, come on, a rich man trying to go have some fun on a certain day, it's an issue, and they using that as an evidence to bring him down. That's very stupid, bro. Like,
call Jonathan or any other assistants that he could just be there without bothering anybody. Things they had to set up.
Yeah,
food,
like, from all the videos that I've seen of Diddy, like, he was somebody that was always like, vibing on the love frequency, and love is like the highest frequency humans could possibly be tapped into. Like, I feel like he wasn't such a bad person, man. He was always preaching love. I don't know why he started preaching love, But yeah, I was rocking with that vibe when he was calling himself love and stuff. But whole time, that love, had a very deep meaning. And now we are finding out. Now I'm finding out, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, they were really, really making love every day, huh?
Music, red lights, condoms, lube, and sometimes honey.
Condoms, bro. At least they protecting themselves, bro. Man, if I was the judge, I would dismiss this case on the third day. For sure.
And this was interesting. I think a lot of the things you hear about honey and what it's good for in your health. I hadn't heard this one, but said that.
You know what I've learned? Women likes to get guys into trouble a lot. I don't know why they think that shit is cute, but that is great embarrassment, bro. Like that ain't cute at all. Like trying to embarrass dudes, not good at all.
He would take would have honey as part of the setup because it enhances the libido. So there's some news you can use. Beyond that, Jonathan talked about drugs that he would have to set up. He said sometimes he would get Xanax, cocaine, and Molly. He said only about a handful of times from, and here's a couple of colorful characters.
Xanax, cocaine, sheesh. Xanax is alright. Cocaine? A lot of people tell me cocaine is not really that bad though, like, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna try that. Even marijuana is too much for me sometimes. Yeah, Xanax was kind of huge, like 3 to 4 years ago. A lot of kids were popping Xanax. I was around Xanax. I've not done coke, man. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do that shit.
Add to the mosaic of this trial. He said the dealers that he would get it from were people named Guido and Baby Girl. Pretty sure those were.
Bro, man, see, that's why y'all can't trust nobody, man. That's why y'all gotta really, really be moving in silence, bro. Y'all people be thinking y'all got friends, bro. Y'all be at these parties, geeked up and all of that. Y'all be, y'all trying to look cool in front of everybody, bro. Some of these people are real evil, bro. Everything you do in front of them trying to make yourself cool, bro. Snap off a finger, bro. They will use that against you real quick.
Their given names, just their professional names.
Yeah,
but he talked about.
I get it though, like,
all of that set up.
Moving solo seems
then let's
like
talk about the aftermath. Because
you alone,
if Jonathan had to go in and set up for all this, and then 12 to 24 hours, maybe even longer, we've heard testimony that sometimes these went as long as 3 days. But he said he would also have to go in and clean up the hotel rooms. And he talked about a text exchange that he had with Christina, who was asking how the cleanup was going. And he texted back to her, well, I've slipped and fell twice. He didn't say what he slept and fell in, but if you have that much lube and that much baby oil, you can kind of figure it out. When you hear all these things that John...
Wow. Sheesh. Lube. Baby oils. Sheesh. Damn, they were getting it on, bro. No games at these Diddy parties, gang. They ain't playing no games, gang.
Had to do, you just go like, God, I hope this guy was getting some hazard pay. He did testify as to what his salary was, so you can decide if this would be enough for you. He said he started out at $80,000.
I wonder what the AMP parties is like. I hope them boys being smart at their parties, man. Yeah, they don't want to be training like Diddy soon, for sure.
$80,000 a year. That's nothing to sneeze at. And actually went up to $100,000. But man, cleaning up after those freak-offs. Anyway, $80,000 to $100,000. That's what he said his salary was.
Damn, so somebody got to clean up after your freak-offs? Yeah. Oh, so the person that was working for Diddy is the one exposing all of these evidence. So, like, who went and grabbed them to come testify though? Like, I want to know, like, who did Diddy hire them to come testify, or like they really testifying against him? Like, damn.
And then on cross-examination, this was interesting because they made Jonathan talk about the fact that one, he had many other responsibilities. The King Knights were just a small part of that. And
Oh,
they asked him,
the employee name is Jonathan, the guy that was cleaning, that was, you know, doing the cleaning in the hotel rooms after the freak offs, or like the mansion, whatever they do the freak offs at. His name is Jonathan. Crazy.
oh, how he
What?
felt about Diddy. And he said, actually, he was asked this by the prosecutors, which
Let's
is also
listen.
interesting, that the prosecutors asked him how he felt about Diddy today. And he said, I feel great about him, the same way I felt when I was leaving my employment, which is an odd thing after all those things he just said he had to do, which you would think would be very distasteful. He said he still felt great about Diddy. He said that on cross-examination, he had never seen him be violent with anyone. And that...
Bro, guys, go watch my recent post, bro. I was saying that, bro. I think, bro, they should let that man go, bro. That guy is way too smart to be convicted of these charges, bro. Like, bro, I think Diddy is one of the smartest, bro. You gotta be very smart to make over $100 million, bro. Like, and I feel like this whole situation is about money, bro. It's about money. They doing whatever it takes to get it out of Big Bro, and that's why they saying that, bro. Like, if it's not about money, you know, they won't be doing this shit.
I thought it was an odd thing to ask him because, I mean, we all, as part of this testimony, we've seen the Cassie video, the jurors have seen it, they know about it, so why does it matter that Jonathan never saw him hit a woman or anybody else? But they had...
But look, though, you know, the people that got mad love for Diddy, haven't seen that evil side of him. But those cameras that be hidden in the hotels and shit, expose Diddy for what he was, though. And that's the con, that's the negative part, bro. So the cameras, man, sheesh. Sometimes I be thinking the cameras are the God, bro. Like the God they be saying, they say God sees everything. The cameras that be all over the place, yes, it sees everything.
Talk about
Sheesh.
that. And then he talked about some...
Yes, the cameras made Diddy look bad. The cameras did. The cameras made Diddy look bad, and he is a certified bad boy now. Sheesh. So ain't no cap in Diddy's raps. He a real bad boy. So don't play with that man, gang.
Text messages between himself and Jane, where they were talking about the things he needed to pack up, that Jane would ask him to pack up for these King Nights. And I think that was interesting because what they wanted to point out was that Jane was involved in setting up these things. And again, this is all about trying to make it clear that she was in.
Yo, guys, I want y'all to tell me, do y'all think this guy has ever been to a Diddy party? I don't know. Sheesh.
This lifestyle, and Diddy was not forcing her into that. That was what the defense got clear to the jury on cross-examination. So, winners and losers. Today, I got to say it's prosecutors, because they got back to, after several days of Jane being cross-examined and really making it murky for the jurors as to whether or not she was forced into this lifestyle or not. Today you just had people talking about the bad things, right? You had the special agent talking about all these things they found, the ammunition, the drugs, probably not that shocking to the jury anymore, but certainly the ammunition and certain firearms that had serial numbers scratched off, all of that.
So guys, so why do people scratch off serial numbers? Like, why do they do that? Like, I want to know, because I'm hearing that a lot. Like, people buy guns and they scratch off the serial numbers. Like, what's the deep meaning behind that? Like, I really want to understand.
Looks really shady, so that's bad. And then you have Jonathan detailing everything he had to go through as an employee of Diddy's. All that stuff isn't...
Dang, whole time I thought Kanye was the employee, but Jonathan is the employee they talking about. So Kanye innocent. Kanye didn't say nothing bad about Diddy. Kanye minding his business because he going through his situation too. So Jonathan's the one that's out here, you know, stating facts.
This is not good for the character of Diddy. It's not good for what he was making employees and people in his organization do. And that's gonna inch closer to racketeering. I don't think the prosecutors have fully shown their cards on that yet, but today I would say the prosecutors were the winners. Next week, we are expecting the testimony of Brendan Paul, a guy whose face you probably remember when the raids went down. He got arrested after the raid in Florida when they went on Diddy's private jet. He was the so-called drug mule and who was arrested and charged, but those charges have been dropped. Perhaps because it was a first offense, it was a state crime, and they made a point when they dropped those charges of saying, the federal prosecutor said, we did not strike a deal with this guy. The charges were not dropped because we are letting him off of testifying. He is expected on the stand next week, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about what he had to do under Diddy's employ. So looking forward to that next week, and maybe the prosecution will be wrapping up their case. Then we'll get...
Guys, like, you know, I really don't understand why they brought Kanye up in the beginning of this video. Man, they shouldn't get that guy involved in this, man, unless he want to get involved in it. You know, the beginning had me thinking that Kanye was the employee that went to spill everything he knew about Diddy. But whole time, the guy that did the spilling goes by the name Jonathan. Sheesh. Man, I don't know what's gonna be the the result about this situation. But yeah, hey guys, you know, I appreciate you tuning in. You know, I want to thank you for, you know, clicking this video and tuning in to the end. Yes, I go by the name Midas K, Midas Kofi Interful on my shirt. Yes, man. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you like about it. Yes, and let me know your thoughts, man. Like, let me know how you feel. Let me know how you feel in the comments. If you want to find me on social media, my link will be in my description. Type in, let's connect on the media, and stay blessed. And make sure you watch more of my videos, man. I got about five more good videos about me reacting to celebrities. So yeah, tune in more. Alright, stay blessed.